Alrighty, welcome to Mac Beans. Farm prepping, wildlife, and current events. This is going to be the nightly recap, probably for a while. So why you are sleeping, and the reason I say that, because I've asked a few people at work about what they know about the shooting that went on in Maine. And a few of them went, what shooting? Folks, if you're that uninformed, I ain't saying sitting in front of the TV 24/7. I'm definitely not saying that, but if you're at this point of the game, if you're not aware of what happened, then you're probably not aware of all the gun grabbing narrative that's going out there right now. And there's a lot of it. Understand, first they take your guns, then they take your speech, they take your currency, then they take your freedom. If you don't believe it, you're naive. You're dangerously naive. All right, the government has no thought for your security. If they did, that shooter would have been in jail. He spent 2 weeks in a mental institution this summer. 2 weeks. All right, he was threatening to shoot up the military base. He was complaining about hearing voices in his head. And no one thought, again, didn't we have one down in Texas did the same thing? No one thought to flag this person. Now, yes, we don't want red flag laws, but we do want to know when somebody's mentally disabled. Probably should have took the guns from him. Probably should have been there more than 2 weeks. All right, and where'd he go? Gun-free zones. Why? Because the state currently has a constitutional carry. That means you can carry, except for in places like bars, bowling alleys, churches, stores, warehouses. Basically anything that's not your property or in your car is almost what it is. So we make them gun-free zones. Gun-free zones are target-rich environments. The criminals, the mentally unstable, the person who wants to do evil does not care about a gun-free zone. Seems only people that do are politicians. Why? Because they know this will happen. You have to know this is happening. You have to understand when you leave yourself vulnerable to evil, evil will come after you. It's an invitation. You said, people, no guns allowed, but come on in and shoot us, is what you said. Because I guarantee you the places where they say guns are welcome, they don't try this. Where do they do it? Bars, bowling alleys, warehouses. That's where they do it. So understand, they are coming after your guns. The rhetoric was out there, coming from the White House, coming from our vice president. Like they have armed security around them 24/7, but we need to take that scary gun from you. And I had somebody say, well, someone with a handgun wouldn't stand a chance anyway. Well, yes, they would. They would have a chance. All right? They would have a chance. And if you have more than one, then you have other chances. Without a gun, you have no chance. So I put a video up on this channel, and I also put it in a short to show him what a pistol can do at 100 feet, because his challenge was, we'll start at 100 feet and walk toward each other. I'll have my AR, and you can have any pistol known to man. That was a dumb question. So I went out there with my Raging Bull 44 mag. All right, it's good for about 140 yards. At 100 feet, I shot the center out of a acorn squash. Okay, that's a kill shot. Done. All right. So, do you have a chance with a pistol? Absolutely. Could I hit it with a 9? No, but I could have got close, and then I have more rounds. I can just pop, 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 pop. You know, and I guarantee you, when somebody's shooting back at you, sometimes plans change. Maybe they find somewhere else to go, or you hit them. So, it's just incredible how the populace has been trained that you're supposed to be a victim. that you don't stand a chance. If you have a gun in the house, it will be used against you. Wrong. You know, well, the kids could get into it. They could, so you have to have them educated and or locked up or both. All right, my kids were educated in guns. They didn't need to sneak and see the gun. All they had to do was ask, we want shooting. They became very proficient with it. You know, you got to use common sense. You got to practice gun safety. You have to teach gun safety. Okay, and did we make changes when we had guests over? Absolutely. Stuff got locked up. But we let them know, if you find something, you don't mess with it. Education. Teach your kids. But right now, we have to teach adults that they don't care about your safety. This man was on their radar. This man had already had a restraining order filed against him by one of his ex-wives. He had already spent 2 weeks in a mental institution this summer. So why did he have that gun? Because they didn't enforce the laws they already have. And it's almost always the case. They didn't enforce the laws they already had. It could have been prevented. I called it 2 weeks ago. I said, it's too quiet. Something's going to happen. Now, does it mean they planned it? No, they didn't plan it. But they allowed it to happen. They allowed it to grow. They were aware of it. They were aware of it and they did nothing. Why did they do nothing? You know, I can summarize. Either they couldn't because of lawyers and things like that, or they wouldn't because they didn't care. I understand I had to go down to South Carolina just to get the police to investigate someone who tried to beat my son to death. It happened on a Monday. I didn't get him out there to the scene of the crime until Friday. And it's only because I raised hell. So, if you think the police are going to save you, they're not. All right, they are there to investigate the crime, go after the criminal after the damage has been done. So I'm telling you, you better carry, you better stay strapped. And if a place is gun-free, maybe don't go to that place. After, you know, their aisles are empty, no people in there, maybe they'll get the hint. But do not believe the rhetoric that they're throwing out there. Banning an AR-15 or an AK-47 will not make anybody safer. Nobody. Zero. I could have went in there with 2 pistols and done the same amount of damage. Well, that's the next thing they'll go after. More people are killed with blunt objects by far. Remember the number they throw at you with gun deaths? Over half of them are suicide. Somebody's going to kill suicide. They don't need an AR-15 to do it. So don't fall for the lies. People, your freedoms are on the line. They're already trying to go after your First Amendment under the disguise of hate speech. They're already trying to tell you how you must think by saying, oh, you must respect pronouns and things like that. Ain't none of their damn business what I respect. They're already wanting to take your currency. They go to a digital currency. Your ability to have money on the side is gone. Zero, zilch. And if you don't think that's important, you're not too bright. I'm just telling you. So first, guns, currency, speech, and then it'll be your freedom. And you won't be able to do anything about it because they already took your guns. And that's what they're after. That's why they allowed the border wide open. Look what happened to Israel. If anything, Israel is a huge, blatant example why you need to have an AR-15. A huge, blatant example why you must be armed. If you don't think it can happen here, you're severely naive. Now, most of you, I'm talking to the choir. But I hope I'm reaching the few out there that have fallen for the rhetoric. Okay, a good guy with a gun can take a bad guy out with a gun. Is it assured? No, nothing's assured in life. Get used to that. But at least they have a chance. And it's happened many times. Why don't you hear about it? Because it doesn't fit the narrative of the media. So they don't put it out there. You have to really research it and look for it. You know, when that guy said, oh, a pistol wouldn't be any good. Mall in Indiana, a couple years ago, guy came out with a rifle, Good guy with a pistol took him out at 140 feet. Took him out. Well, you didn't hear about it. Why? Well, because it goes against the anti-gun crowd. And media is mostly anti-gun. Is that when Hollywood, they're making movies, when they got the guns ablazing everywhere. Give you a couple clues. Plaster and drywall walls do not stop bullets. Chairs and tables do not stop bullets. Okay, you don't need to rack the shotgun every time you turn around the corner. It only takes one to put a shell in the chamber. And it should have already been in there. So just a little education out there, folks. But just like I'm going to title it, they're coming after your guns, then your speech, then your currency, and then finally your freedom. You are allowing them to have all this control. You need to stop. You really do. You know, the media was wrong. 22 dead. It was 18. 50 injured. It was 13. You know, because they want that headline. They want that shock value. They even had some 2A, YouTube channels going out there and repeating that same information. Well, a mile is like, well, here's the numbers they gave us so far, but we'll see what happens. Because it always changes. The truth always comes out. So no, boys and girls, it wasn't a MAGA or extreme MAGA and all that other bullshit they feed you from the Democratic Party. It was a mental unstable male who should not have been able to keep that weapon. And all the signs were there. And then he went to a place where you cannot defend yourself because they think that's a good idea. And it's a terrible idea. Stay alert, stay safe, stay strapped, stay vigilant.